In April 1961, just weeks before his passing, Gary Cooper visited his Montana home one final time. For many years, no one knew what he left behind. A collection of hidden paintings, a historic saddle that influenced Hollywood, and memories that revealed the true man beyond the fame. It was at this ranch that his most devoted fans would come to understand his retreats from the spotlight and the personal battles he faced. Today, we can finally uncover what was discovered at the 7 Bar 9 Ranch. Born in Helena, Montana, on May 7, 1901, he was originally named Frank James Cooper. Over time, he became known as Gary Cooper. His parents, Charles and Alice, were English immigrants. On the night of his birth, a fierce storm shook the town, and many claimed that the loud thunderclap accompanying his first cries was nature's way of announcing the arrival of someone extraordinary. Montana offered a picturesque backdrop for childhood, but his home maintained strong English traditions. Frank and his brother, Arthur, were taught to speak proper British English and practice impeccable table manners, despite growing up in the rugged West. Frank's father, initially a lawyer and later a judge, frequently brought him to the Montana state capitol. There, young Frank was captivated by the legal debates and the Western art that adorned the walls. This unique upbringing, a blend of frontier life and refined English customs, shaped the man he would become. In 1908, when Frank was just 7, disaster struck. A nearby dam burst, triggering a flood. As water levels rose dangerously, his mother swiftly grabbed him, jumped on a horse, and rode to safety. This harrowing experience left Frank with a deep respect for nature's power. Certain moments in Frank's youth hinted at his future. He once won a contest by reciting a poem with such heartfelt emotion that the audience gave him a standing ovation. Among the spectators was a vaudeville performer who remarked, "That Cooper boy might just be famous one day." Few believed it then, but history proved otherwise. When Frank was 5, his father purchased the 7 Bar 9 Ranch, a 600-acre cattle farm. Ranch life was demanding, especially during Montana's harsh winters. Frank rose early each day to complete chores, later reflecting that shoveling manure in freezing temperatures was far from glamorous but instilled a strong work ethic. At 12, he had a terrifying encounter when a bull charged at him. He managed to escape by steering his horse into a dense cluster of trees. His time on the land also sparked an interest in Native American culture. While digging a well, workers unearthed arrowheads, further fueling Frank's curiosity about the region's history. At age 9, Frank and his brother were sent to England for schooling, as their mother insisted on a prestigious education. The transition from ranch life to a strict British boarding school was jarring. Frank likened it to going from herding cattle to studying Shakespeare overnight. During school breaks, he returned to Montana and regaled his friends with incredible stories about life overseas. So incredible, in fact, that many thought he was making them up. Despite the challenges, Frank developed a love for literature and art, immersing himself in works by Shakespeare and Dickens. These interests later helped him bring authenticity to his performances. However, he often felt out of place, once showing up to school in cowboy boots and a Stetson hat, much to the amusement of his classmates. World War I forced Frank to leave England in 1914 and return to Montana. His British-influenced accent made reintegration difficult, and locals teased him for it. Nevertheless, he worked hard to reconnect with the land. His unique personality shone at 17 when he delivered a speech at a rodeo, a curious blend of cowboy slang and Shakespearean verse that left the audience stunned. This ability to balance ruggedness and sophistication foreshadowed his future Hollywood persona. Gary Cooper's life took a dramatic turn on his 15th birthday, May 7, 1916. That day, he went for a drive with his friend Harvey Markham, a trip that ended in tragedy. Their car lost control, flipping multiple times before landing upside down. Gary was trapped beneath the wreckage, seriously injured and in excruciating pain. When he finally freed himself, he felt a strange numbness in his side, as if it were no longer part of him. Doctors treated his visible wounds but never conducted an X-ray, failing to diagnose a broken hip. The injury never healed correctly, leaving him with lifelong pain and a distinctive limp. Forced to grow up quickly, Gary endured his suffering in silence. Unaware of the severity of his condition, His doctor recommended horseback riding as therapy. Though eager to recover, the continuous jolting only worsened the injury. Over time, he adapted, developing a unique way of walking and riding that would later become part of his on-screen identity. In 1924, at age 23, Gary left Montana for Los Angeles, hoping to become a painter. His father had relocated there to manage family affairs, providing Gary an opportunity to pursue his passion. Having studied art in college and worked as a newspaper cartoonist, he was confident in his abilities. However, finding steady work proved difficult. He took various odd jobs, including painting theater advertisements and assisting photographers. Determined to improve his craft, he enrolled in additional art classes. In early 1925, fate intervened. He reunited with two Montana friends who worked as Hollywood extras and discovered how easy it was to break into the industry. Though he had never considered acting, he gave it a try. His natural presence and quiet intensity quickly set him apart. Directors noticed that he conveyed strong emotions with minimal dialogue, relying instead on subtle facial expressions and gestures. This unique style resonated with audiences and propelled him to stardom. By 1941, Cooper cemented his legacy with his Oscar-winning portrayal of a war hero in Sergeant York. A decade later, he won another Academy Award for High Noon, where his quiet strength and vulnerability captivated audiences. His ability to convey deep emotion with few words became his signature. Despite his Hollywood success, Cooper faced personal challenges, including high-profile romances, financial troubles, and health issues. Yet, through it all, he remained a beloved figure, admired for his authenticity both on and off the screen. Gary Cooper's final years were marked by reflection. His visit to the 7 Bar 9 Ranch in 1961 was his way of reconnecting with his roots. The treasures he left behind, art, artifacts, and memories, offer a glimpse into the man behind the legend. His story, shaped by the Montana wilderness and the golden age of Hollywood, remains an enduring testament to resilience, talent, and timeless appeal. As the years pass, Gary Cooper's legacy continues to inspire. His blend of rugged individualism and refined artistry set a standard for generations of actors. The 7 Bar 9 Ranch, once his refuge, now stands as a monument to a man who embodied the best of both the Old West and Hollywood's golden age. His story, forever etched in the annals of film history, reminds us of the power of perseverance, authenticity, and the enduring spirit of a true legend.